The 4-year Bitcoin cycle is dead.
Let me make it simple. The 4-year Bitcoin cycle, it's dead. It didn't get murdered. It got outgrown. What used to be a grassroots pattern of, halvings, hypes, parabolic pumps and runs is now a financial instrument wrapped in ETFs, backed by institutions, and traded, like any other risk asset like Tesla. You think BlackRock cares about your little halving memes that you guys have been putting out for the last decade? They don't give a shit. Cycles, they work with institutions. Cycles work when markets are immature, when they're new, when they're newly born, that kind of things. Today, no way. Bitcoin used to be a revolution, right? Where'd Darkside get his name? Right? That's his brand. It used to be a revolution. Today, it's a ticker symbol on Wall Street. And that's exactly what it is. So the cycles will never be the same. Once you go ticker symbol, you're done. There's no more revolution in Bitcoin, right?
I get the minor points really actually fascinating because I've recently been diving very heavily speaking with a bunch of Blockspace Maxis, which is what's interesting as the rewards for the miners change. It's actually really critical that we maintain the ability to flush the system. Like if we only go straight up in like perpetuity, it's actually unhealthy because it rewards the kind of bad behavior that we're already starting to see that will only exacerbate as price goes up. So when we hit 250,000 per token, people are going to be making absurd claims about it forever going up. They're going to start offering products instead of just telling people to buy Bitcoin and then learn about it and self-custody it. They're going to create these like fancy, special, novel financial products in order to capitalize on the never-ending price going up. And it's really critical that those people get flushed, which is why the cycles have been designed. And so I think that we're going to see a shift in mining, but the miners are also going to keep having an incentive to watch this thing go down. I think that Bitcoin, in order to protect itself, will have these big drawbacks. I don't think we're done with that.
Yeah, just on the last comment, look, if the whole stock market were to tank out, NVIDIA is going with it. I mean, everything's going with it, right? Bitcoin will go with it. But I like that we should be maybe focused on, hey, what other assets do you have that, most people's position in this Bitcoin is so small that why worry about the 4-year cycle? Worry about the 80 or 90%. See what you can do to upgrade your current portfolio. Like just help your family and friends with the portfolio that's not working for them. I use it. That's how I pitch Bitcoin. Let me see what else your portfolio is doing. They're doing 40% a year, dude. I have nothing to talk to them about, right? But most people aren't doing that.
Real investors today, they're not betting on magic math. They're betting on the institutions. Institutions control Wall Street. They control the power. They dump on retail, right? You buy on the rumor, you sell on the news. The 4-year cycles are over. The MicroStrategies, the ETFs, the BlackRocks, you name it. They're in control, and the little fantasy BitBoy, channels and those news updates, they're going to CNBC, boys, and that's it.
I think that you have to understand that institutions don't like to see huge vol swings to the downside. I think they're okay with them to the upside. But I think that any types of sell-offs will be heavily muted by institutional buying. I just don't think there's a 4-year cycle. And just to add to that the mining reward is so small. We're talking about $45 million a day. That's less than, you add that up per week, and that's less than MicroStrategy buys, in your average day. I don't see it. I don't see any continuation to the 4-year cycle. Matter of fact, I think we're going into a bull market, bear market cycle. I think that's a traditional Wall Street cycle. That's what we're going to see going forward.
I appreciate Jerry joining Team Cycle. Let's go, Jerry.
Well, again,
I thought I was Team Cycle. No, the cycles are dead. Wall Street's in.
So let's differentiate between the 4-year cycle being dead and Bitcoin being a cyclical asset. All assets are cyclical. they're going to have their big price jumps. They're going to have their big price declines. The 4-year cycle, the traditional 4-year cycle that so many people talk about, that's dead. That doesn't mean we're not going to have extreme volatility. Matter of fact, going back to what we were discussing earlier, the creation of these Bitcoin treasury companies, the products that they're going to be spinning out, the structured products, bit bonds, bit annuities. We just saw MicroStrategy come out with a new Stretch, which is essentially a money market fund yielding 9%. All of these products are going to require Bitcoin to be sequestered behind because they back these products. The more Bitcoin you take off the market, the less Bitcoin there is in the available tradable float, the more volatile the asset gets. And this is unlike any other asset Wall Street's seen. Usually as assets mature and assets grow, volatility goes down. This is going to be different. This is going to be a situation where volatility goes higher, the higher Bitcoin goes, the more Bitcoin that's sequestered behind all different types of financial products, from bit mortgages to bit bonds to bit annuities. There's going to be a bit everything that Wall Street's spitting out. I couldn't agree with Jerry more.
They're getting ready to hold on to this money, though. It's going to be awesome. I mean, you're going to see a massive transfer of power and wealth. They come together, man. They come together, and why anyone would want to miss this opportunity, if I'm wrong, wow, what a great thing to be wrong on, because I'm still going to be rich, okay? If I'm right, oh my God, I took the right steps at the right time. I didn't get hoodwinked and, oh, it's 117. Shit, it's 117 and sailors buying it like a sailor. I mean, just stack and pack. And 40 people behind it, stack it and pack it.
You know what I love about Bitcoin the most is that the brilliance of how it was set up has literally taken everybody who thought that they were going to bend Bitcoin to their will and smashed their face in with the laws of thermodynamics and the indestructible durability of the network and proof of work. And so I am looking forward to the generous helping of humble pie that is coming for the Wall Street dudes who think that they're going to take Bitcoin and bend it to their will, instead of like being forced into a system that is far more equitable and far more serious, and frankly, far more better for humanity than any of the systems that they've ever dealt with before. That's the beauty of Bitcoin.
I really believe that Blockspace is going to become so valuable in the future. And because Blockspace is going to become the next commodity, I actually see us one day in the near future having futures on Blockspace where people are actually trading Blockspace in advance. That means that companies like BlackRock, companies like Strategy, nation states are going to need access to Blockspace. And they're going to gain that access by acquiring miners or going into the mining business themselves. Right? Blockspace is the future commodity that's really not talked about inside the Bitcoin ecosystem.
What if we never talk about, what if the 4-year cycle actually is different, but it's better? Would you want to miss that? I'm sure it's not going to be worse. I don't think I'm going to get an 80% drawdown unless I get an opportunity to sell at $800,000. I could see that. Y'all agree? 800 grand gets pulled back to 80. Guess what? That's 64 G's. Right back in 64, 75, 80, 90 land. And that means the cycle's still on. Well, why? I don't know. But it should be. But it could easily, anyway, I do not want to wake up in 4 years and go, wow, dude, I could have bought another 50 Bitcoin and I didn't. Now I only get to buy 3. I could have bought 50. Now I can only buy 3. That's a 4-year cycle, man. That's painful. Painful.
I do agree that Bitcoin, if you're mom and pop out there, you forget TNA and all that kind of stuff, or if you're Gary, or if you're, freaking MM crypto, right? Maximus. I agree. You put it under your pillow and you're going to look up 5 to 7 years. And I think It can really create wealth for those who don't understand. The key is just don't look at it. Just buy it. I don't care if you buy it on Coinbase personally, or I don't care if you buy it on Robinhood. I don't know. But you don't need to be advanced. And I agree with the opportunity that exists. And these opportunities only come around every 15, 18, 20 years, things of that nature. So I agree. 100%, and I'm all in with you. But I do believe the 4-year cycle is over. It's not, the kids don't run this playground anymore. Wall Street does. It's not opium or, having memes and all that. It's now structured. It's inflows, it's quarterly meetings, it's earnings. Bitcoin's not fighting the system now. It is the system. That's what I want you guys to understand. And the 4-year cycle died the moment that Larry Fink bought in. It's just Wall Street's new structured product. And that's why we and those people out there that are watching us can do well with it, because it is their new product. And I love it because of that reason. But forget the 4-year cycle. It's going to revolve around the Fed meeting